What is he accused of? Does anyone know? That's not how America works. That's not how the First Amendment works. You're a idiot, okay? You hate freedom. You do not understand how unsafe you are making basically everyone. I'm sorry. Deported. A permanent resident. Deported. Oh. I spoke about this repeatedly over the last couple of days and mostly made assumptions, but it turns out that I'm completely correct in all of them. Mahmoud Khalil is basically going to be a canary in the coal mine for American free speech and civil liberties. I'm calling that right now. The story is that Trump, using an executive order that he had actually initially passed in 2019, but has reinforced just recently, where he wants to, in the name of combating anti-Semitism and fighting terrorism, wants to deport people who he believes are threatening to national security, are pro-terrorist, etc. So he's accused this guy, Mahmoud Khalil, of I don't know what. Really, he keeps on changing. He keeps on not really directly accusing him of anything, but just sort of saying, "Oh, there are these activists who are doing X, Y, Z." We don't really know. He was arrested by ICE. They had his green card ripped up. They initially announced that they were going to take his student visa away, but then I guess they changed that because they realized that he wasn't here. He wasn't in America. Sorry, on a student visa. He was there as a permanent resident with a green card. So it feels like they just changed the accusation or the facts of the case like on the spot. So that's kind of deranged. And he was a student protester at Columbia University. His wife is 8 months pregnant. He was born in Syria, I think, to Palestinian parents in the 90s, 95, I think. He's been in America for quite a while, permanent resident, and is facing deportation. He's currently been held in the country because a judge has blocked his immediate deportation. People are arguing that he was abetting terrorism. That's like the steel man of what they're saying. The problem is that this is very, very, very shaky. So David in chat saying he was one of the leaders of the Hamas protests. I'm glad you think that. That's great. There is a reason that people are being quite vague with what they're using to deport him, because the effort to produce solid evidence on this guy is really, really, really weak. The White House puts this out. They say, Shalom, Mahmoud, because this government is more insane, radical Zionist than the Israeli government is, apparently. ICE proudly apprehended and detained Mahmoud Khalil, a radical foreign pro-Hamas student on the campus of Columbia University. He's a permanent resident. He's not... Does that count as foreign now? This is the first arrest of many to come, President Donald J. Trump. And this is what he says. Following my previously signed executive orders, ICE proudly apprehended and detained Mahmoud Khalil, a radical foreign pro-Hamas student on the campus of Columbia University. First of many to come, we know there are more students at Columbia and other universities across the country who have engaged in pro-terrorist, anti-Semitic, anti-American activity, and the Trump administration will not tolerate it. Many are not students. They are paid agitators. We will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers from our country, never to return again. If you support terrorism, including the slaughtering of innocent men, women, and children, your presence is contrary to our national and foreign policy interests. You are not welcome here. We expect every one of America's colleges and universities to comply. Thank you. Now, what has he actually been accused of? What is he accused of? Does anyone know? Because he's not been accused of any crimes, not being charged with any anyway. But the fact is that the other areas or the other means that they're trying to use to get this guy kicked out are not valid either, because people on Twitter, I wonder if you could see it. I shouldn't do that on Twitter, on screen. He called for intifada, that's enough, that would be inciting violence. Dan, I'm glad you think that, but welcome to America, the First Amendment, okay? There is a reason they are not going down a criminal route, as far as I know. I don't believe that he's been accused of that. I think there's a reason they're keeping it vague. And there's a reason also that the entire American judiciary apparently is opposing this, because there is something that people are appealing to. And this is when you know, okay? This is when you know never to trust anyone who comes to you with a piece of US law, like a statute, and just highlights the bit, oh, the alien is an alien terrorist. Got him. Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Like, again, the thing that he's being accused of here is material support for terrorists. And the problem is, if anyone comes to you with a highlighted bit and they're like, oh, well, he distributed a document that was printed by the Hamas media office or whatever. If people give you this stuff, I don't think this is the exact statute, but it's like something similar. The problem is that there is the wording of a law and very broad and vague terms, and there is the practice of a law. You have to look at precedent. This doesn't actually tell you anything about the law, really, about deporting terrorists. It tells you like less than 50% of it. What you want to look at is how the law is practiced. So the term material support for terrorists has been practiced in the past. Like people have had residency and green cards and all that revoked for doing this. The problem is that this guy has not been accused of doing anything that crosses this line. Nothing. It's not just the case that you can, with your voice, say nice things about Hamas and get deported. That's not how America works. That's not how the First Amendment works. Let's just, I'm giving you some examples. The term material support or resources means any property, tangible or intangible, or service, including currency or monetary instruments, or financial securities, financial services, lodging, training, expert advice or assistance, safe houses, false documentation or identification, communications equipment, facilities, weapons, lethal substances, explosives, personnel, one or more individuals who may or be or include oneself, and transportation, except medicine or religious materials. Now, most of those have not been laid at this guy's feet. Personnel is the one that people are trying to cling on to, I think, because personnel is like, okay, well, you're offering your personal support, I guess. But again, there is an entire precedent of this in US case law. The statute makes clear that personnel does not cover independent advocacy. Individuals who act entirely independently of the foreign terrorist organization to advance its goals or objectives shall not be considered to be working under the foreign terrorist organization's direction and control. So someone came to me saying that that he was distributing this, Hamas's media office, talking about October 7th. This was actually produced, this document was produced by Hamas, explaining their motives on the attacks on Israel. Where is the actual thing? Al-Aqsa flood, the 18-page document. Yeah, this. People accuse them of distributing this. This is not material support. It's not material support. It does not count. Yes, you sent it, David. Yes. That is not a service, okay? Distributing a public document. So again, if you have people coming to you and just highlighting this, okay, this is not how you explain legal stuff. This is not how you do it. You don't just take this, okay, and put it on Twitter and re at people and then throw at your own knob, break your own ribs in the process, and then feel very proud about yourself for the rest of the week. You don't get to do that. No, you actually have to look at what the law means, how it's used, how it's been used in the past, what people agree that it means, and what seems pretty unanimous about what the law means. And this is a problem. This is a problem for quite a lot of people, actually, because if that's what's going on here, I personally hope new precedent is set. David, you're an idiot, okay? You hate freedom. Do you not understand that using this Bush-era reimagining of words like this, it doesn't just mean that people who like Hamas are unsafe. It means that anyone who is eventually under the microscope of some president or other is also in danger. When you set a precedent of broadening terms like this to be at the political whims of a president, then everyone's in trouble who's got a green card. Everyone's in trouble for distributing foreign material. David, I have distributed this foreign material. You have distributed this foreign material. Like, what the are we actually wanting to deport people for spreading literature now? Like, what the you have no foresight. You're mental. It's unbelievable. What if Trump decides that Ukraine is an enemy of the state?
Ask what about free speech? Don't they know their cancel culture justifies us deporting people for speech? This is what you get for banning my X account 1488 mega mommy milkies.
Thanks for the $10. What happens if if like some Ukrainian unit goes schizo and commits a war crime, and then Trump accuses supporting Ukraine of supporting terrorism, and then people are passing around like United 24 media, and they get put on the list as well? What if that happens? What the hell? And this has happened in the UK as well. Okay, this has happened in the UK as well. We have had cases with the Prevent strategy where professionals, like doctors, teachers, whatever, were expected to out people if they thought they were engaging in terrorist activity, right? The problem is Westerners don't know about terrorist activity for the most part, okay? And in the UK, what this meant was that people were getting detained for doing things like reading about Hamas's tactics for academic purposes, wearing a t-shirt that someone thought was an ISIS logo. You want Americans to be deciding this shit? Go off. You do not understand how unsafe you are making basically everyone. I'm sorry. Giles, thanks for $5. Loved your video about Syria. Keep up the good work, Lil Gup. Favorite soccer team? Aberdeen, obviously. Come on, you Reds. Anyway, he's still allowed due process. Well, you would think so, because he's not really been afforded all that much of it just yet. I'm really annoyed that there's like people in my chat defending this. Man. Deported. A permanent resident. Deported. Holy shit.
Question here on Mahmoud Khalil. Does the administration believe that it...
This is the, who's this? White House press secretary. Let's go. Yes, the judge, federal judge has blocked this, so we need to chill. Shut up. The guy is being detained, Dan. Oh, we need to chill. We also need to chill because the people that the Houthis kidnapped were actually set free. They didn't get murdered. Chill. It's not a big deal. They just had their rights taken away from them for an arbitrary period of time. For no good reason.
Does the administration believe that it needs to charge a green card holder with a crime to be eligible for deportation?
Well, in fact, Secretary Rubio reserves the right to revoke the visa of Mahmoud Khalil. And
so there is something here that is really scary, which is that the Secretary of State is allowed to actually make like personal decisions on this, but I think it's also like they have to believe that there is a serious risk to national security. That's what they still have to prove something. They can't just be like, I don't like this guy. But there is a thing in the statute that specifically mentions Secretary of State, but there's still a standard to cross. It's not like none of this is by the books. None of this is by the books.
Glad you brought this up. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, the Secretary of State has the right to revoke a green card or a visa for individuals who serve or are adversarial to the foreign policy and national security interests.
See, adversarial, again, and people who don't understand case law are just going to hear, oh, adversarial. Well, he thinks America bad foreign policy. That's adversarial. Oh no, he doesn't like American foreign policy. Like it's so loose, but it's not loose.
Of the United States.
It's practiced in a way that's not loose at all.
Of America. And Mahmoud Khalil was an individual who was given the privilege of coming to this country to study at one of our nation's finest universities and colleges. And he took advantage of that opportunity, of that privilege, by siding with...
Call me crazy, I don't think Holocaust Harris would have revoked people's green cards. You sure about that? I thought they were exactly the same.
Terrorists. Hamas terrorists who have killed innocent men, women, and children. This is an individual who organized group protests that not only...
USSR-style censoring science, lists of wrong speak words, NSF grant proposals.
Did we just get... Thanks for $10. Did we get to make all the 1984 references now? It's not a book, mate. 1984 is not a book, right? It's not a novel. It's not a story, right? It's a blueprint, right? Fucking... Let me tell you something else. Whoa. Whoa. You should write that one down. Ooh.
Disrupted college campus classes and harassed Jewish American students and made them feel unsafe on their own college campus, but also distributed pro-Hamas propaganda, flyers with the logo of Hamas.
Literally none of this crosses the threshold, but okay, well done.
The behavior and activity that this individual engaged in. And I have those flyers on my desk. They were provided to me by the Department of Homeland Security. I thought about bringing them into this briefing room to share with all of you, but I didn't think it was worth the dignity of this room.
Do you oppose hate speech laws? Not really, but that's because I know how hate speech laws are practiced. Even in the UK, where everyone thinks that people are getting jailed for spicy memes, we have laws about stirring up hatred. Like you cannot stir up hatred, which sounds very loose, but the threshold is so high that like, I think maybe less than 100 people are charged with it every year. It's very, very low.
To bring that pro-Hamas propaganda. But that's what this individual...
Wait, what did she say?
my desk. They were provided to me by the Department of Homeland Security. I thought about bringing them into this briefing room to share with all of you, but I didn't think it was worth the dignity of this room to bring that pro-Hamas propaganda. But that's
Oh my God, what a soy. Is this is soy MAGA. That's what this is. You're the White House press secretary. What are you talking about? Oh, I don't want to taint the room with the I don't want to taint the room with that violent, despicable piece of propaganda. Holy shit.
this individual distributed on
Do you think spreading Hamas propaganda isn't passing the threshold? To get deported? No, Eli, actually. No. 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 Did they even find pro-Hamas propaganda? I don't believe they have publicly produced the evidence, but they're claiming this, yeah.
the campus of
In any
Columbia
case, I don't know if it matters. Like because the evidence they're claiming to have is independent advocacy, which is not that there's a reason everyone's saying this is unprecedented. Okay. Do you think this guy is the first guy to hand around pro-Hamas propaganda? Of course he's not. In America, babe.
University, and this administration is not going to tolerate individuals having the privilege of studying in our country and then siding with pro-terrorist organizations that have killed Americans. We have a zero tolerance policy for siding with terrorists, period.
For weeks,
Define Hamas propaganda. Is it just anything that supports the rights of Palestinians? No. This was the document they're talking about is an actual Hamas media office produced document. Like it's from Hamas. I mean, maybe Trump will broaden his definition. I don't know what Trump's definition is, but when I say Hamas propaganda, I mean propaganda that was produced by Hamas. Watch Peace Corps analysis. It's not so clear cut as you portray. Well, tell me. I don't need to watch Peace Corps analysis. Just tell me. Tell me if you think I've missed something. Not you, the press secretary. Oh, I don't know what she believes. She said she has the document, and it's got the Hamas logo on it, but rip. What if I don't want him banned for his speech before his illegal actions? Then bring a criminal charge! Bring a criminal charge! They haven't done that. They haven't even... Me. I'm fed up, man. I will shed all the Israelis from my audience over this shit. Oh God, you guys are triggering me so hard. I need there's only a couple of you, but oh my God, I feel like it's too much. I feel like one's too many. Holy shit. God. I'm so mad. I'm gonna flip. That's what's gonna happen, okay? Listen, I'll defend Israel in the wake of insane claims and allegations, but this ain't it, bro. This is not it. What the God? I will actually go to America and strap myself to a rocket, a fake rocket, a toy rocket, okay? And make a very symbolic statement under the First Amendment. Dwayne, that's the $5. If anti-American, pro-enemy of America rhetoric is on issue here, there's a lot of anti-American, pro-Russia rhetoric in the MAGA movement. Well, that's the precedent, right? Because what happens? What happens if Democrats take over and they use Trump's precedent to kick all the pro-Russia people out of the country, right? Like, wait, maybe that's a good idea, you know? Just let them do it, okay? Those guys we can sacrifice all the pro-Hamas people if that's what they actually are. And then after that, we can just use that precedent to remove half of, just use it to remove half of the American population or half of the voters for supporting terrorists, for being Putin simps. Oh, shit. This is America. Even hate speech is free speech. I'd much rather deport people than hate the First Amendment when they don't like the speech. Whoa, thanks for the $5, Fast and Bulbous. Banger. Jacob, thanks for the $5. Little do they know I'll use this to deport TPUSA members when I'm president. Those Connie Reds and TPUSA are Klan simps, and they have got clapped. Okay. Wow. Can you deport an American citizen? Listen. There are a lot of Hispanic voters for MAGA, okay? There are a lot of Hispanic voters supporting MAGA. Some of them will be permanent residents, okay? You think they're all American citizens? Hell no. Actually, I don't know. Supporters? Yeah. And they deport them to Russia. Shit. Is material support to a terrorist organization legal? Given that they've said committed a crime or material support to a terror organization, then maybe there are forms of material support that are legal, yeah. Or maybe not illegal, but are punishable in some way. I don't know. Unless they've just separated that one because it's like a special case or like it's more specific to that law. to that standard. Ooh. Ooh. I'm just saying, okay, is bad. Is pro-Hamas anyone who supports or justifies armed resistance? Where are you people coming from? What did I just say? The accusation they've made of him is that he was handing out documents that were printed by the Hamas media office, that were produced by the media office. Or are you asking in the terms of the American president or the State Department? I have no idea. I feel like they're just, I feel like for them it's just people they don't like. But hello, Sunky ST. What can I do for you?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask. Sorry about that. I've been looking at the live and
You're very quiet. Could you have anywhere turning up your mic?
Yeah, no problem. Hold up. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I was gonna say that. So I understand where you're coming from when it comes down to free speech. But I thought that he was also one of the leaders of the actual like protests when it came down to Colombia. So now this is what I heard, that he was handing out a lot of the pro-Hamas rhetoric, but also that he was one of these leaders with this whole entire protest thing that happened with Hind Hall and all that other good stuff. I don't know. That's what I've just heard.
And
Well, I mean, if he was if he was a leader and the Hind Hall thing happened, and there was vandalization of it and it was organized, I mean, would you say that that would be enough grounds?
do you think he incited the vandalism by leading the
I don't think
protest?
so. I don't think so. I'm just saying, is it organized? Was it organized in a way? Because I mean, like, they showed up with banners, they had everything there. I mean, it was, that had to have some level of organization, don't you think?
Enough to get you deported or criminally charged? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm sure, assuming everything you're saying is true, yeah, he maybe sounded like he was not a great dude.
Yeah,
I don't think I would agree with him on all that much, but what to do what though? Is he crossing a threshold to do what to him? Fine him?
Is it?
Arrest him? Like deport him? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I would say, I mean, since he's a green card holder, they can take it away if he commits a crime like that under that.
Yeah,
kind
but
of
they haven't
value.
charged him with a crime, have they? Have they
No,
even
I
said he committed a
understand.
crime?
No, they just detained him, which I think is messed up, and they should have actually, done their job. But I'm just kind of wondering about it because I mean, like, and listen, I don't like the guy at all, and all this other stuff, but I'm just trying to think, like, what's sort of going on.
Support? How is it material support?
What do you mean?
Keeping in mind that independent advocacy has been ruled by the Supreme Court to not be considered material support. Make your case for how this is materially supporting Hamas, and then tell me what crime this guy has been convicted of, which constitutes as a crime of moral turpitude within the last 5 years of his entry into the country.
Okay, so my whole argument is that if he was one of the actual leaders for these protests, and these protests were obviously organized by the said groups, whatever they may be, that basically holds him culpable for
So
the
you
vandalization.
think that Hamas itself organized the protests?
No,
Because
I'm
that's
saying that.
okay, but
We're
that's what
saying-
you would need to have.
Are you saying absent Hamas? But you're suggesting he committed a crime then by organizing those protests?
No, I would say that he committed a crime. Oh, I mean, I'd say that through organization of vandalizing I don't know the actual hall's name. I just know Hind Hall.
Okay, then you can charge him. Then what they should do is charge him with vandalization. And because moral turpitude crimes are very much up to case law and up to interpretation, it could be that he has committed an act of moral turpitude, right? But in that case, charge him, convict him, and then you have grounds to deport him. But until you do those first two steps, you cannot say that just because this kid was part of this protest, that is automatically in some nebulous way supporting Hamas.
But it's not just that he was part of it. It's the problem is that he was an actual leader.
You're still not making, but it doesn't matter. Without those two charges, you still don't have that material support. Unless you claim that Hamas was helping to organize these protests. And I don't know, maybe they were. I don't know. There were some pretty rancid people there, right? There's a good chance they were. But until you can show that connection, even if he's the leader of it, it still doesn't matter. It doesn't meet the requirement.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm just thinking that no, absolutely. When it comes down to that, I mean, I think that now listen, I'm not perfect about this law. I just want to make sure that everything is out there. But if it was basically let's just forget about Hamas. If he has his green card, he commits this crime while having his green card. Would that even cause for deportation or no?
It could, right? If he gets
Right.
if he gets charged and convicted of it, it could. The
Absolutely.
problem that we're having is that they are skipping those two steps. So
Mhm.
they're using this nebulous, oh, he supports Hamas type claim, right? Without really giving us anything more than like he was handing out a pamphlet that anybody could have printed off online,
Right.
right? And they are skipping the rule of law and the due process straight to let's just kick him out of the country, even though he's a legal permanent resident.
Right.
So
And
what
they
is
make it
that?
easy.
What
Yeah.
effect does that have? It has the effect of like now everybody's going to be too afraid to protest anything, right?
Mhm.
This isn't going to stop at Gaza. It's going to say, hey, if you don't like what the Trump administration does and you want to speak out about it, all we need is the most thin thread of a connection and we'll get to deport you even if you're here permanently and legally,
Yeah.
which
No.
is
No. No.
not
No.
a precedent you can set. That's why you have to have that conviction of that crime before you go to the deportation part.
Right. No, I think what they were doing is a lot of playing like fast and loose, especially, and just trying to like Loner said that basically it's the canary in a coal mine that now any time that somebody tries to do that, and they pick the perfect sort of person when it comes to kind of giving it a try. Because I mean, I don't think many people are going to be very happy that this dude was handing out these pamphlets and all the sort of violence that happened at Columbia. That it's kind of perfect for them and it's kind of messed up for us. But all right, I just wanted to make sure that
You're on the good.
No, it's cool. I just like I want to make sure people are looking at this outside of the lens of just Gaza, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
yeah.
like it's very easy, and everybody in this chat knows I hate those protesters. I still hate them to this day, but it's very easy because they are so inherently dislikable. To kind of make them scapegoats and be like, oh, well, it's okay if you do it to them. Where if this is a precedent that we allow to be set, it won't just be them. It will be eventually like every American in this chat at some point in time.
Right. It's that quote. What is it? First they came for the communists, and I
Yeah.
didn't say anything because I wasn't a communist. Yeah, no, I get where you're coming
First
from.
they
I get
came for the
concern.
Hamas supporter.
Yeah.
Unironically, yeah.
And
I
then
mean,
next,
they're deporting
the
them.
Jews.
Yeah, fuck, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Just out of interest, have any high-profile conservatives, MAGA, or libertarians actually spoken out against this?
I saw on Philly D. Now this is Philly D, but he's usually pretty good when it comes down to research. But I saw that there were some Republicans who were saying that that this isn't right, like on both sides, saying that something's not right here because they're not going through the right channels. But again,
And Coulter.
I haven't done the research on it.
What did she say? Is she on Twitter or?
Let's see. So I'm playing Monster
Wait,
Hunter.
you said
too, so.
Ann Coulter spoke out about this?
Yeah.
Skeletor Barbie? She is she is a disgusting individual, but if she's speaking out about this, it's bad because
Chicago
that lady
Tribune.
hates everybody.
Yeah, she's okay. What did she say? Questioned the Trump administration to deport a Palestinian graduate. There's almost no one I don't want to deport. Good start.
Hey, at least she's honest.
But unless they've committed a crime, isn't this a violation of the First Amendment? What an incredible tweet. What the?
We truly are living in an upside down world.
There's almost no one I don't want to deport, but unless they commit a crime,
It's
isn't this a
refreshing
violation?
to have them say the quiet part out loud, though. Like at least you know where she stands, right?
Wait, where has she been lately? Because obviously Jake Shields is the first reply. You missed the part in the First Amendment that says it does not apply to criticizing Jews. Okay.
Of course.
Oy vey.
Oi, Gewalt. Yes. Indeed, Loner. All right. I just wanted to make sure about that because, like, I was, like you were saying, you wanted to. I don't know if this is like TikTok and I could say, of course I can. I didn't know if you were going to cost all the Jews out of your chat. So, I was just trying to make sure that, there are some Jews who are up here and we just want to make sure, we're on the up
I
and
think
up.
mostly you just
Listen,
want to
I'm
get
not
rid
far
of
from
David
it,
at this
okay?
point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no. That's all right. You said Israelis, but we know what you meant. We know what you meant.
Yeah, it's still thin ice, okay?
Yeah,
We met David.
man. I'm
David,
your
we met
token. I'll be your token Jew. All right. I just want to stay in chat. I just got back. Okay.
Rip. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna watch something.
All
Take
right,
care,
have
guys.
fun stream.
Bye-bye.
I feel like
Thank you, Ann Coulter. Our blonde Aryan queen. Sake. Oh, what a funny tweet. What a horrible, hilarious tweet. Ooh. Now, I want to continue my radicalization, okay? We have a Pierce segment featuring Pierce, Rabbi Shmuley, Aaron Mate, and Omar Badar. Holy shit. I can't do it. Maybe we'll do it later. I want to do content nuke, micro nuke, tactical fallout. I want to do that first. I just need a moment. What was I even going to do for that? Oh yeah, obviously there's all the Yeet videos. So Ethan streamed about Fallout from his little tactical nuke. He said this yesterday, which is interesting.
He's disgusting. These people are so...
What?
Exactly, man. If they cared about Muslims and Arabs, then they wouldn't be singing Hezbollah's praise. That's for goddamn sure, because Hezbollah's killed a hell of a lot more Muslims and Arabs than the IDF ever has, by many multiple times. Matt Lieb, Denims, and
Hezbollah has not killed more Arabs than the IDF. That's not true. Is that not the case? No, it's not the case. What are you talking about? I know what he's trying to say, because Hezbollah assisted Assad, and Assad killed more Arabs than the IDF has in the last 5-10 years. Actually, Assad has probably killed more Arabs than have died in the entire Israel-Palestine conflict. But that's Hezbollah were part of that. They provided training, they provided logistical support, they basically rescued Assad, a lot of people would say. But that doesn't mean they did the kill it. That's not how that works. Like, you wouldn't say that unless you want to say, like, are we going to say that Israel killed all those people in Sabra and Shatila? Like, did the phalangists not get any mention? You do that all the time. I specifically don't do that all the time. I literally say the Israelis did not do the killing. They just surrounded the place and didn't let anyone leave and shot out flares and gave the green light to go and do it. But no, they did not do the killing. So I wouldn't say that Hezbollah have killed more Arabs than... No, it's not even a good metric. It's stupid. It's very, very dumb. If you want to say the axis of resistance, they've killed more Arabs than the IDF ever has, for sure. If you combine the efforts of the Houthis, Assad, Hezbollah, Hamas, even if you exclude Hamas, because they're not as tight with the axis as everyone else. It's good to be accurate. Good to be accurate. Shit. The death toll in Syria, I believe, is it's varied because you got Syrian Human Rights Organization and the UN. I think the UN have confirmed about 300,000 civilian deaths. I believe the human rights orgs have said that 500,000 people dead have been verified by name. The context is the Houthis engaging in a civil war in Syria, the same thing. Yeah, but that's like saying the IDF is in the context of a war as well, with people who want to destroy their country. So it doesn't really, unless you think Assad's civil war against the rebels was more legitimate than Israel's war against Hamas. I don't know. Missing context. Context? What's your point here? I think when you say things like this, you're just opening yourself up. Like, you can easily talk about what Hezbollah did in Syria and how atrocious it was. But to say that Hezbollah killed more Arabs than the IDF ever, that's just not true. It's just not going to work. It's not going to add up. Just say you want to be annoying. Yes, I want to be annoying. Israel's not in a war against Hamas. Okay, it's a shame the IDF doesn't agree with you, and neither does Hamas. I don't understand. Hamas doesn't agree with you on that. Like, Hamas still says they want to keep fighting Israel. Like, October 7th, they still want to do it. They want to keep doing Al-Aqsa flood. It's like, I consent. Tutan doesn't. Rip. Okay, what else has happened since yesterday? I know I've been mentioned a few times. Hello, Sev.
Hello, what's up?
What can I do for you?
I just want to know if I'll be deported or not for just speaking to you.
Yeah.
I wanted to actually tell you a little funny story I had happen to me. It was when I was getting my tires fixed.
Okay.
There was this Palestinian dude who was working the shop, and there's obviously just a bunch of Jews getting their tires also fixed. And then they're all just sitting down, and he sees this newspaper and Trump's face on it. And he just started like crashing out, spitting on Trump's face, wiping his ass with it, putting it on the ground, stepping at it. And it annoyed the Jewish Israelis there so much that they had to like get up and leave. They didn't want to give him business anymore.
Holy shit! What, the guy who's in charge of getting the tires
Yeah,
fixed?
the Palestinian
The
guy.
guy working there. Oh god.
Yeah, he was just crashing out. Trump spitting at him, stepping on him, and they were trying to tell him to stop, and then he just started cursing out Trump in front of them, and they got so annoyed to the point where they just wanted to leave. That I think 2 of them left out of like the 4.
I mean,
This is why I'm like I don't exactly
Rafe?
believe Israelis when they say not that many Israelis like Trump. I'm seeing too many like positive notions from Israelis on Trump. Well, then again,
I
there
believe
isn't
most of them
really-
are probably quite happy with Trump. Yeah, I mean, obviously it sucks for the what's left of the left wingers in Israel who don't like him, but yeah, obviously.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of. I think there's even right wingers that think Trump is like negative for them.
Yeah.
The smart ones, at least. The smart ones are like, oh yeah, like Trump is just gonna drag us into more conflict.
Oh well. It's a good story though. I like that one.
Yeah, but
Bonkers.
I just want to say, Vanna, they weren't exactly telling him not to wipe his ass. They were like, "Hey, Trump's a good guy." They were trying to say Trump is a good guy and shit to a Palestinian. Not the best thing to say. It's like trying to defend Netanyahu to a Palestinian.
Yeah, because the last time
exactly.
Trump was in charge of the peace process, he wanted to strip Arab Israelis of their citizenship and put them into the West Bank. Yeah, like just shift the border over. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
You know, there was also police officers there. They were the ones that were on his side, on the like Palestinian dude's side.
Arab police officers?
No, they were Jewish.
Oh.
I didn't speak to them, but they had keepers on.
What? So it was one Trumper alone.
No, it was like it was like 2 Trumpers that were like annoyed by him doing that shit, and then like the police officers was like laughing.
God.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my story.
Someone just doesn't like someone doesn't like trans belly dancers, I guess. I don't know. Someone's just bigoted against
Hey, you don't know
bearded
they're
belly
trans.
dancers.
You don't know they're trans. They just have beards.
Okay. Yeah, bearded belly dancers. Whatever.
Okay. Also, regarding the deportation shit,
Hmm.
I feel like this is like such a non-issue of what this kid did compared to like other situations that's happened in America with like Tim Pool, for example.
Yeah, January 6th, people who support Russia. Yeah.
And
clans,
if you're talking
yeah.
about, and like I've seen that's like what Israel would do here. Israel like would go after people that just like spread from Hamas. But I don't see any other country. Maybe Germany would do that.
Well, countries that are at war are more likely to clamp down on things like that. Like Zelensky obviously banned a bunch of political parties and newspapers that were pro-Russia, but it's like that's because they're right next to you and they're fighting with you. Like, yeah, obviously it's different.
Yeah.
We did that in the UK as well. America's not getting their national security threatened by a guy who's passing around.
Israel, I'm pretty
Hamas,
sure Israel
yeah.
clamps down on it even when they're not at war. But like they are in conflict, I guess.
Well, but that's not in like direct combat, but like technically Israel and Palestine have always been at war, right? Like or at least Israel and Hamas. Yeah.
But what's it called? Yeah, no, I don't feel like this like is a actual issue, and people are like trying to push for his deportation. Don't really understand what that could lead to in the future.
I think they don't care. I think they're quite happy to have. I think they're quite happy to have that level of recklessness in the system. Yeah, because I think they would rather.
Not enough.
I think they would rather a couple of innocent pro-Palestinian protesters who actually just oppose the war to get kicked out as well, to get people like that Mahmoud guy out. I don't think they give a. Yeah. Did Hezbollah actually deploy troops in Syria? Oh yeah. They not only did they deploy troops, they basically rescued Assad's army. Yeah.
I don't think I ever like preach for violence, like actual violence, but I hope the Hezbollah guys get slaughtered. Like those.
Well, whatever's left of them, eh?
Yeah, whatever's left of them.
Okay.
Anyway, that's it. Play Baldur's Gate 3. Bye.
Take care, man. Bye bye.